All right. Okay. Good morning, almost afternoon. My name is Samara Duckworth. I go by Sam, and I am the program director for the Arkansas Employee Assistance Program. And here today to talk about holiday stress. Um, ho, ho, help. Who doesn't need help around the holidays, right? So, we're going to talk a little bit today about um, sources of holiday stress. And we're going to talk a little bit about stress in general, very quickly. And then we're also going to talk about things that you can do and develop a plan for this holiday that's coming up, or if you want to use it for ones later down the years. I think that it's something that I've learned over the years, and I put in place every holiday. I reevaluate what we're going to do and what we're not going to do, and whether it's actually valuable or not. And sometimes we continue to do things around the holidays just because we've always done them. And that can be a source of a lot of stress because we try to get a lot of things done. Well, I think that you need to every year kind of develop, given my circumstances this year, what works best, what's going to be the best celebration that I want to do. So that's my goals for today. Um, this, I should put it on the refrigerator, then I'll be done with all decorating for the whole year. I'm not big into decorating at my house. One of these you're going to get a picture because the last 2 or 3 years, my I leave it up to my girls to decorate for the holiday season. So they go online and they find a lovely picture of the Christmas tree in Times Square. They print that out and they stick it to the wall. And that is our Christmas tree. And I just tell them whatever is going to work best for us, that's what we're going to do. So it's been our Christmas tree the last few years. So, um, all right. So just a little bit about stress. And we've all talked about it a dozen times, maybe more than a dozen, maybe a billion times. And stress is the body's reaction to a challenge or a perceived threat. When we think about the holidays, it seems scary to think that our body and our brain is seeing that as a threat. That's not what it's supposed to be about at all. The holidays are supposed to be about celebration and enjoyment and remembering positive things, starting the year off right, that sort of thing. But unfortunately, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to do things a certain way, be a certain way. And when we do that, our minds will see that as a threat. If it doesn't work out the way I want it to, or the way I think it's supposed to, that is a horrible, terrible thing. Reality, it's not. The next, December 26th is going to come along, whether you did anything on the 25th or not. So, but our brain will see that as a threat, that I have failed, that I have um, not been a good person. We tend to take it really personally sometimes. So when stress happens, of course, adrenaline hormones are released, nervous system is activated, our senses become sharpened. And previously, we always thought about stress as being negative. Anytime stress is bad, we shouldn't do that. It's going to make us old, it's going to give us a heart attack, we're going to have a stroke. We think about those things. But there's some new thoughts in the world of stress these days, and I'd like to just talk on them very, very shortly because I wanted to stop thinking about stress that way and see it as something different in the way we handle it with our bodies. So when you think about stress, to me, it's all in the perspective. So if we view stress as motivating, helping us gear up for things, if we view the holidays as a challenge to put together the most enjoyable period of time, but we see it as a challenge. So as my heart rate increases and I think about stuff and my brain is going over things, if I see that as, oh, I'm just getting to where I can do this really well, and this is giving me the energy and the motivation to do it better, then my body is actually going to accept those hormones and adrenaline in a much different way than if I see it as it's horrible and I'm so stressed and I can't get to that and I'm going to fail. And it's our bodies do a different thing with the hormones that we release, which is just kind of amazing. There's a YouTube video out there that I show when I talk about stress sometimes by Kelly McGonigal, and it's called Making Stress Your Friend. It's very enlightening because it talks about kind of the physiological stuff that goes on with stress. So I like this little cartoon here. It reminds me of a George Carlin, telling my age a little bit, quote thing that he says in a stand-up, and that is, isn't it funny that everyone that's going faster than us is a maniac, everyone's going slower than us is an idiot? So this reminds me of that. And if you think about it, that's very true. You know, if it's not going our way, you're wrong. But it's really all in our perspective, what we do. Stress is there to help motivate us. If we had zero stress, we would get zero done. So luckily, we do get a little bit stressed. Or you would end up with the picture Christmas tree that happens at my house. All right. So today, what I'd like for us to do is examine some holiday expectations. And I've got the handouts that I have here. And those of you seeing this as a recording, I'm going to give Natalie this information digitally, and she can have it available to you. But in the handouts, I have keys to maintaining wellness throughout the holidays. And we're going to just go over some of those. I'm not going to go over every single one. Y'all get tired of my voice by then. And then I have another worksheet that we'll talk about at the end. All right. So we want to examine what we do for the holidays. And I think we examine it every year before Thanksgiving. My mother usually calls me like in July and says, what are we doing for Thanksgiving? And I'm like, Holly, I don't know. She starts on her holidays way earlier than I do. And I have to push her off for a month or two and then go, okay, so this is what we could do. But I think you start ahead of time and think about what is it I want to do? What does the holidays mean to me? And how can I achieve that? Or how can I celebrate that? Sometimes we do things just because that's the way we've always done them. Or people want us to do it that way. There always has to be pumpkin pie. Well, if nobody eats it, don't make it. And so sometimes you have to think about that. We always send out Christmas cards. Really, how impactful is that to the people that we know? Some people it is very impactful. Other people it's not so much. So, all right. So we'll go over a few keys. The first key on our list is letting go of unrealistic expectations, like we just talked about. And so remembering that we can't recreate the past and that there is no perfect holiday. We do try to think that if it doesn't look like It's a Wonderful Life, or if it doesn't look like Norman Rockwell painting, that we haven't done it right. There isn't a right way to have a holiday. The holiday is supposed to mean something to you, and whatever you do that makes it mean that, that's what's important. So when you look at this, and I really would like for you all to take these handouts and fill them out. It gets you thinking about those things. So the question there is one thing that I would like to have happen this holiday that probably is not going to happen. So I expect this to happen, or I think it should happen, but it's probably not. Maybe somebody isn't going to get to come home for the holiday that normally gets to. And so being able to just own that and just say, that's not going to happen, and there's nothing I can do about that. That will relieve that stress of worrying about something that you can't do anything about. So another important thing has to do with who we're around the holidays. Our holiday expectations in this culture is that we will have lots of people around us and all of our family, and if they really love you, they will be there with you. So if they're not, that means they don't love you. That's pretty tough to take. And in reality, we can't be with everyone we care about unless we could get them all in one room, and somehow I can't ever seem to do that. So, but some people are an isolator. So during the holidays, sometimes bad memories are there, and they tend to isolate and they stay away from people. If that's who you are, I would encourage you to invite some people together that make you feel good. These are people I go out with, and when I come home, I'm still laughing about what we talked about. Or this is a party I went to last year that I just had the best time, and I met new people that I really liked and really care about. Make those things happen. Even if they're not inviting you, reach out and invite yourself or invite them to you, because it's easy to isolate around the holidays. And then we just focus on what isn't happening in our celebration. Um, if you're overwhelmed, then there's the other end of the spectrum. There's some of us that go to every single party. I have to go here and I have to go there, I have to do this and that and this and that. If you're feeling very overwhelmed, then it's time to look at all of those and go, which are the ones that are important? They can't all be the highest priority. So attend only the high value ones. It's okay to tell somebody, I just can't make it this year. Especially if it's ones that when you get home, you usually think, oh, I hope I don't have to do that next year. So don't do it next year. That's one of my rules. Is like, yeah, if it wasn't fun, if it was difficult and hard, is there a reason for me to do it? Sometimes there is. Sometimes there's like, yeah, nope, it's family and it has to happen, or this person needs me to do that and I want to be there for them. Then I might go, yeah, I'm going to do it anyway. But that's because I place value on it. So one thing to write down is just one friend or group that I really want to make sure I get together with this holiday season. All right. If we look at traditions, and I've kind of talked about those, they're kind of like expectations, but traditions are the actual things that we do. And what do they mean? Sometimes we're doing things and we just do them because grandma did them or mom did them, and everyone's always done them. And I don't know, it seems like a silly thing to do, right? Like, I'm not really sure why there's mistletoe. It's fun, but I'm just, someone somewhere went, oh, let's hang it up and everyone kiss underneath it. Okay. But do you like it? Is it fun? Does it mean something to you? Does it remind you of the thing that you're trying to celebrate? Can you? Then the other thing is, like, if it's a tradition that's important and you want to keep it, who can help you with it? If it entails a lot, you know, those Christmas cards. If that really is important, who can help you send out the 55, 75, I don't know, Christmas cards you have to send out every year? Why do I do it? Why is it important to me? And I think as we do this, one of the things that happens is that we get more in touch with what's important to us. So the traditions that we do keep will be more meaningful than keeping a bunch of them that some of them mean something and some of them don't. So when you're evaluating what you're going to do for the holiday season, think about a tradition that you may want to give up and one that you want to make sure you keep, sort of thing. Okay, important thing, don't forget to nurture yourself. And that's easy to forget. And I think that's a 365 day a year project. And it's easy to forget it during the holidays, but it's easy to forget during the rest of the year too. You have to find ways to take care of yourself. Are you getting enough sleep like you should? Are you eating well? You're going to go to parties and there's going to be the really cool, great food out there. So the day before the party, do I make sure have plenty of greens that I probably will not eat at a party? You know, what are the things that I can do? Or if I'm going to a party and I know that everyone else there is going to have food that is going to be really rich, would I feel better if I took fruit? Sometimes I do. And so sometimes I'm like, I'm going to be the voice of health here because I've already had 3 parties this week and there's just no other way to get this good food in me. Getting enough sleep, doing something nice for yourself. I think the best self-present, and I think we should give ourselves gifts. Isn't that great? I think so, right? Give ourselves gifts. I think one of the best is to do something that makes me feel good. So a massage, or go get my nails done, or take the afternoon off and buy myself a book and pretend I'm not at home. Just something that says I can take that time for myself and I'll feel better when it's done. I find if I don't do things like that, what I do is I carve time out and then I feel guilty about having carved the time out. So I don't feel better when I'm done with it. So it's much better for me to go, oh, no, this is my Christmas present to me. All right. I'm spending 3 hours right here, doing nothing else but just what makes me happy. And then I can go, yep, I did it. So one thing I'll do for myself is the question that we should probably ask on that. Um, Loneliness and loss. Uh, you know, the holidays are a difficult time to be missing someone. And this is a time that gets really tough because this is the time we probably made sure we saw that person, or some of the traditions that we've always done involve that person. And so then when they're gone, what do we do? What do we do with ourselves with that kind of thing? Um, Finding people who support and encourage you. You don't need to surround yourself with people who will pretend like it's no big deal. Yeah, that's right. Just go on. He's been gone for 3 years now. Get over yourself. And there's people out there who will do that. So if those are the people that are on your list, that may be really good things to avoid. Oh, I'm really super busy that night. I'm going to wash my hair. um, the other thing that you can do that helps with loneliness and loss is volunteer. There's nothing like helping someone else that gets you out of your own head and gets you from thinking about the pain that you're having and the loss that you're having. So I like the idea of volunteering and helping out. And it could be something very simple. It might be I'm going to call my neighbor and offer to wrap their gifts. Um, I like to bake. So one of the things I used to do before I had young children was I would invite my friends to bring their young children to my house and we would decorate Christmas cookies and they would go and get their shopping done. And I had the best time. Just have a great afternoon with the kids and send all those cookies home with them. And we had fun and they got some little downtime. And it was a plus for both of us. Um, so the last key, remind yourself of the true meaning of the holidays. Again, what it is, what are you celebrating? Make that meaningful. Be aware of excess commercialism. Um, it hooks us in to buy, and that's our business culture around here. But if we focus on the holiday, what it's supposed to mean, we are less likely to get into that thing of I have to get everybody the perfect gift and I have to buy all of these things. Um, and so I'd like for one of the things that this is my must do every year, remind myself of the importance of, and I fill in the blank. Is it family? Is it spiritual? Is it time? All of that. Okay. So that is one worksheet. For those of you listening to this as a recording, that's one worksheet. And there's some more other things on there. I didn't go through all of them. But the second worksheet, first of all, the front of it says peace is not something you wish for. It's something you make, something you are, something you give away. And that's by Robert Fulghum. Um, I really like that. When we think about the holidays, I think about peace. And I have to remember that I have to make that for myself. I am responsible for my own peace. And hopefully by that, I share peace with other people, but I am responsible for that myself. The back of that is just a place to make some lists. And again, I'm kind of pulling from some of the stuff that I do every holiday season. Sit down with my family, usually end of October, and say, okay, so this is what we did last year. What'd you like? What do you remember that was good? What do you think was bad? What did you think we should do instead? And we just start brainstorming some things that we think will be fun and we want to do. And we make some notes on that. And I pair some things out then. It helps me get down to, I could do these things here. So on this worksheet, what I enjoyed about last holiday was, and I think those are really good because if you're going, it's about a year, you're going thinking back about last holiday. If it's still in your head, it was probably good. you know. And then the second list of things to do that I think this is fun to do, things I've always wanted to do during the holiday season, but I've never done. I think that shakes us up and gets us out of the ruts that we get into. So I like to think about that. So sometimes it's like, oh, I haven't You know, I haven't volunteered at a food kitchen. I want to go do that. I want to try to do that. Or I think instead of doing the regular holiday, let's go on a vacation because I'd rather just spend time with you than spend money on gifts. Those are things that you might think, I've always wanted to do that, but we've always just went, well, we have to do this and we have to do that. Have to should not be in our vocabulary. All right. Find a way to add at least some of it. You may not be able to add everything you've always wanted to do, but if you do this every year, usually you'll get most of those things in. All right. That is the culmination of my talks. I'm trying to keep this at 30 minutes because I want to value everyone's time. I do, on this slide deck, I do have our contact information, just a little bit about your employee assistance program. This is the public service announcement. This is how you pay for me to be here, okay? UAMS employees have 10 sessions a year with a licensed professional counselor. It's free of charge. It's already paid for by the university. We have a campus over at Freeway Medical Building in Suite 601, but we also come on campus for those of you who are here in the Little Rock campus. And you can, that way you don't have to leave campus if you want to, when you make an appointment, just tell them you want to do that. We also are in the Fayetteville area. So those of you who are in Northwest Arkansas, call and ask to be seen at our Fayetteville office. You can be seen there as well. We currently also do video sessions. So those of you who are not near Little Rock or Fayetteville, ask for a video session. It's very, very simple. You can use your phone or laptop. It's easy to do. And coming soon, we will have online services. Sometime this next year, we'll start where you can actually request appointments online without having to call. So we're trying to just make things as easy as possible. I'm also going to send with Natalie a very short, promise 7 questions about this presentation, what you liked, what you didn't like. Feel free to say whatever you want. I won't hunt you down, even if it's bad. But no, just tell us what you liked and didn't like. It helps us make tweaks and changes the next time we do this. And believe it or not, this is a presentation I get asked to do almost every year, one place or another. So yeah, tell me what was good, wasn't good, and next year will be better then even. So everyone out there, happy holidays. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate it very, very much.